look good on the first page if you want to get the business. Building information and utility summary, all of the bills and everything. So you're trying to build a story basically here. All of the measurement you did for energy and what are your suggestions for operation and maintenance, and if you need to add some appendices basically. In your building report, you got to talk about the age, history, operation schedule. So you might say, why do I write all of these things? These are their building. They know everything about it, right? Why do I spend my time? First of all, it's a revalidation of your effort, because when they are reading your report, and if they see, oh no, your schedule, the assumption that you had for operation schedule is not correct, then your whole report changes, right? So what you do is allowing them to make sure that you are in the same sets of assumptions. When I do energy auditing, I do all of my calculation on Excel sheet. I never do it on a piece of paper and write it with hand. Because most likely these numbers changes 4 or 5 times. You don't want to go back every time and redo it. When you do it in Excel sheet, if a number has changed, if you give your report and they come back and say no, operation schedule is not correct, you come back, you just go to your Excel sheet, change the number, all of the things has changed. You can link it directly to your report in Microsoft Word. You don't need to go and copy and paste. Everything automatically is changed for you. And in future, if you do it once or twice, then you have some sort of a form and format for yourself that you can keep for all of the other programs. Okay. So this is the most important part of your business, basically, in the report. You're going to propose where are the locations that you can save energy, right? So if you have a boiler, or if you have an electrical motor, how you can save energy based on the energy consumption they have, what's the energy saving back, right? And what type of investment approximately they have to do. If they have to buy a new boiler, it costs about $130,000, how much saving you are going to have. A lot of times, utility companies by law are obligated to chip in and reimburse the companies if they are supposed to, for example, buy a more efficient boiler and it's going to cost them $60,000 more. Believe it or not, gas company chipping pay half of it. Because by law, they are required, the utility companies by law are required to show to the federal government that they are decreasing the energy usage every year overall in the whole country. Okay? So there are money on that, and they spend the money. And a lot of companies, they don't know that. And one of my job actually is I get hired from the companies to try to calculate the energy saving that can be achieved in that company, and then present it to the gas company, try to get 50% of that money funded by gas company. Right? The same thing for electricity as well. My customers are all in gas company. That's why I deal with gas company a lot. Maintenance is a very important factor on energy saving, and the maintenance schedule, how often it's going to happen, how it's going to happen in terms of resources. It's very important. A lot of places are not organized at all. They do maintenance as it occurs, and that's the worst thing to do, the maintenance as it occurs, because what happens is you're not basically controlling your maintenance. When you wait for an electrical motor, if an electrical motor has a life of 12 years, right? And if the 12 years pass, and it's working at the 15 years and you're not changing it, you're not doing yourself a saving. Because after the 12 years, the operation, the efficiency of the electrical motor is not guaranteed. The life has been already expired. So you're using a motor that is very, very inefficient. So you're saving money by not buying a new motor, but you're paying that money monthly to your electricity bill, right? So you have to be very careful when it comes to maintenance. And don't cut on maintenance. Cutting on maintenance is not going to save you money all the time. You have to do the calculation for this. Okay. So far, any questions? So, let's not forget the big picture. What's the big picture? Big picture is to calculate the energy usage of a facility. Could be residential, commercial, industrial, right? Residential is apartment houses, apartment complex, commercial, shopping malls, office buildings, and industrial factories, right? So we want to calculate the energy usage in all of those and try to see how you can save. You might say, why do I want to do that? I get a bill at the end of each month. I know how much energy I want to use. But that bill is a general bill for the whole facility. It's not going to give you exactly where are the opportunities to save. You have to break it down, right? You have to know what percentage of this month energy usage is for this boiler, what percentage is for that electrical motor, and all kind of things. So you can come up with some sort of energy saving. So that's the whole purpose. That's the big picture, don't forget. So when you do that, you need to do analysis. A lot of time when you're doing analysis, you find out that you're dealing with the boiler, and the boiler does not have a meter by itself. What do I do when it's a case like that? I'm going to be a little bit more practical, right? I go to this facility. Their job is, they have 5 furnaces, and their job is to basically melt metal. They have 1 meter and 5 different furnaces. What should I do? Should I just divide it by 5? Should I go and read the name tag on each boiler or furnace to see what's the energy usage, right? You have to do all of those things. You have to try to find and calculate what's the best way to find out what's the energy usage. The name tag is for a furnace that is brand new. So furnace is not brand new, right? Most likely you might end up doing some measurements. The best scenario is if there is a possibility to add a meter, but costs money, several $100, and shutting down the operation for a while, but add a meter for a major energy consumption unit. If you can do that, it's beneficial forever. There are many different types of spreadsheet that you can fill out in terms of what was the energy usage for that unit, different month, if it's electricity, if it's a gas, and what type of energy has been used, and basically calculate it. If you go search online on Google, forms pops up from anywhere. If you work in this industry, the recommendation is each state has a council that regulate all of these forms. They don't dictate to use their own form, but it's better to use their form. California has a commission. It's called the Commission of Energy Consumption at something, which is in Sacramento. They get together, they have all of these standards. And if you want to do energy auditing, you have to be certified by that council, basically. And they give you all of the forms and everything as well.
California Energy Commission.
California Energy Commission, yes, it's in Sacramento. So those are the things that you need to do. Okay, now one other thing that you have to do is when you're dealing with energy consumption, different units of energy is used. But in order to have an apple-to-apple comparison, you've got to convert everything to BTU, right? And at the end of the day, you need to convert it to EUI, which is Energy Unit Index, which is BTU per square feet per year. So you want always to look at the big picture. And when you look at that, there are many different charts in the industry that you can see where you are. For example, here is a school. And for a school, there is a range of the numbers, and these are the numbers that have been collected over the years, basically for EUI. And there is a lower range, there is an upper range. You calculate your school that you're auditing, you will see where you are in that range. If you are in the lower range, you're fine. If you are in the upper range, then you have to continue to try to do some energy saving, basically. And if it's about electricity, converting it to BTU might not be a good idea. It's better to keep it in kilowatt and kilowatt hour, right? So kilowatt and kilowatt hour, kilowatt is the power, right? Is the energy per second. And kilowatt hour is when you multiply that by the total hour to give you the energy, right? So kilowatt hour is energy, kilowatt is power. And I need both of them. I just don't need energy.